The vast expanse of space buzzed with chatter. Aliens from every corner of the galaxy shared the same opinion. Humans were bad at war. They saw Earth as a backward planet, filled with creatures who spent more time fighting each other than advancing their technology. On the planet Zorgax, tall, blue-skinned beings gathered in a grand hall. Their leader, Supreme Commander Xylop, stood before a holographic image of Earth. "Look at these humans," Xylop said, his voice filled with disdain. "They waste their resources on petty conflicts. Their weapons are primitive. They would be easy to conquer." The crowd murmured in agreement. For years, they had watched Earth from afar, studying human history and their endless wars. To the Zorgaxians, humans seemed like children playing with sticks and stones. "We shall take their planet," Xylop declared. "It will be a simple task." As news of the planned invasion spread across the galaxy, other alien races watched with interest. Some felt pity for the humans, while others looked forward to the entertainment of watching a weaker species fall. On a distant space station, two alien observers discussed the upcoming invasion. "Those poor humans," said Blorp, a gelatinous creature. "They don't stand a chance against Zorgaxian technology." His companion, a robotic entity named Unit 7, beaked in agreement. "Affirmative. Human military capability. Substandard. Probability of successful defense, 0.1%. Back on Earth, humans went about their daily lives, unaware of the threat looming above them. In New York, a hot dog vendor argued with a customer over the price of mustard. In Tokyo, students crammed for exams in crowded cafes. In Lagos, children played soccer in dusty streets. Little did they know, their perceived weakness was about to be put to the ultimate test. As the Zorgaxian fleet approached Earth's solar system, they sent out scouts to gather final intelligence. The scouts reported back with confidence. "Supreme Commander," one scout reported, "the humans are still using combustion engines and projectile weapons. They have no energy shields, no faster-than-light travel. This will be easier than we thought." Xylop smiled, his pointed teeth gleaming. "Excellent. Prepare the invasion force." The Zorgaxian warships entered Earth's atmosphere on a quiet Tuesday morning. They appeared over major cities across the globe, their massive hulls blocking out the sun. Panic erupted on the streets. Cars crashed, people screamed, and governments scrambled to respond. The world's militaries mobilized, but their jets and missiles seemed puny compared to the alien ships. As the first Zorgaxian troops teleported to the ground, they expected to find cowering humans ready to surrender. Instead, they were met with a surprise. In New York, the hot dog vendor grabbed his cart and rammed it into a group of alien soldiers, sending them sprawling. In Tokyo, students used their knowledge of chemistry to create makeshift explosives. In Lagos, kids pelted the invaders with soccer balls, disorienting them. All around the world, humans fought back with whatever they had at hand. They were scrappy, unpredictable, and incredibly resourceful. Xylop watched from his command ship, his confidence wavering for the first time. "What is happening?" he demanded. "Why aren't they surrendering?" His advisors scrambled to make sense of the situation. "Supreme Commander, it appears the humans are adapting. They're using their environment in ways we didn't anticipate." In the space station, Blorp and Unit 7 watched the unfolding events with shock. "Impossible." Unit 7 beeped, recalculating probability of human success. Blorp's gelatinous form rippled with excitement. "Maybe we were wrong about humans. Look at how they fight." As the first day of the invasion drew to a close, the Zorgaxians found themselves in a stalemate. Their superior technology was being countered by human ingenuity and sheer determination. Xylop paced in his command room, his earlier arrogance replaced by worry. He had underestimated these humans, and now he faced the possibility of a prolonged, difficult war. Across the galaxy, alien civilizations watched in amazement. The humans, it seemed, were not as bad at war as everyone had thought. In fact, they were proving to be formidable opponents. As night fell on Earth, its inhabitants prepared for another day of resistance. They had sent a clear message to the galaxy: underestimate humans at your own risk. As dawn broke on the second day of the invasion, the Zorgaxians were in for more surprises. Humans, far from being defeated, had spent the night preparing. In the suburbs of Chicago, a group of engineers and mechanics had worked tirelessly. They emerged from their garages with modified cars, now equipped with makeshift electromagnetic pulse devices. These vehicles sped through the streets, disabling Zorgaxian hover tanks with each pulse. Meanwhile, in the Australian outback, Aboriginal trackers led guerrilla units through the harsh terrain. They ambushed alien patrols, using their deep knowledge of the land to outmaneuver the invaders. Xylop watched from his command ship, his blue skin turning a pale shade of frustration. How are they doing this? He growled. They're supposed to be primitive. His chief scientist, Zorp, cleared his throat nervously. Supreme Commander, it appears we've made a miscalculation. The humans are incredibly adaptable. They're learning our technology at an alarming rate. Indeed, all over the world, humans were reverse engineering crashed alien ships and weapons. In Silicon Valley, tech geniuses worked alongside military experts to crack alien computer systems. In Russia, scientists studied captured Zorgaxian energy weapons, already producing prototype versions for human use. The Zorgaxian ground troops were facing unexpected challenges. In Vietnam, they found themselves bogged down in complex tunnel systems. In the Alps, skilled mountain troops used the terrain to launch devastating hit-and-run attacks. Even children were contributing to the war effort. In India, a group of young tech enthusiasts used their drone flying skills to scout alien positions and deliver supplies to resistance fighters. Back on the space station, Blorp and Unit 7 watched the unfolding events with growing excitement. Probability calculations require significant adjustment. Unit 7 beeped. Human adaptability factor. Unprecedented. Blorp jiggled with agreement. They're not just fighting back. They're innovating. Look at how quickly they're advancing their technology. On Earth, the tide was slowly turning. In orbit, human space agencies coordinated a daring plan. They repurposed satellites into weapons, using them to disrupt Zorgaxian communications and navigation systems. Xylop's frustration turned to alarm as reports flooded in. His invasion force, once confident of easy victory, was now fighting for survival in many areas. "This is unacceptable," he roared. "Send in the annihilator beams. We'll wipe out their major cities. That will break their spirit." But as the massive annihilator ships moved into position, they met unexpected resistance. A hastily assembled fleet of human spacecraft, cobbled together from various nations' space programs and even some private companies, engaged the alien ships. These human ships, though technologically inferior, were piloted with incredible skill and daring. They weaved through Zorgaxian defenses, targeting weak points that human scientists had identified. In New Delhi, a former call center manager named Raj had become an unlikely hero. He used his experience in coordinating large teams to organize a global network of hackers. Together, they launched cyberattacks against Zorgaxian systems, causing chaos in the alien ranks. As the second day of fighting neared its end, the Zorgaxians found themselves in a stalemate. Their superior technology was being countered by human ingenuity, adaptability, and sheer determination. In his command ship, Xylop slumped in his chair. "How could we have been so wrong?" he muttered. Zorp, the chief scientist, spoke up. "Sir, I believe we underestimated the humans' greatest strength. It's not their technology or their resources. It's their diversity and their ability to unite in the face of a common threat." Indeed, all across the globe, old enemies were setting aside their differences to fight the alien invaders. Nations shared intelligence, resources, and technology like never before. As night fell again on Earth, the planet's defenders prepared for another day of resistance. They had proven to the galaxy that humans were far from bad at war. In fact, they were showing themselves to be one of the most formidable species the Zorgaxians had ever encountered. The invasion that was supposed to be over in hours had turned into a prolonged conflict, and with each passing moment, humanity grew stronger, more united, and more determined to protect their home. As the third day of the invasion dawned, Earth's defenders had made significant progress. Humans were not just resisting. They were beginning to push back against the Zorgaxian forces. In Japan, a team of robotics experts had worked through the night. They unveiled a fleet of reprogrammed industrial robots, now equipped to fight the alien invaders. These machines, guided by human operators, proved to be formidable opponents in urban combat. Meanwhile, in the heart of Silicon Valley, a breakthrough occurred. A young programmer named Sarah Chen had managed to crack the Zorgaxian communication codes. This breakthrough allowed human forces to intercept and understand alien transmissions, giving them a crucial advantage. "We can predict their moves now," Sarah explained to military leaders over a hasty video conference. "And even better, we can feed them false information." This new capability was put to immediate use. Resistance fighters around the world began laying elaborate traps, luring Zorgaxian forces into ambushes. On the Zorgaxian command ship, Hilop was growing increasingly desperate. "How are they doing this?" he bellowed at his advisors. They were supposed to be easy prey. His chief strategist, Yarlax, looked nervous as he replied, "Supreme Commander, it appears we gravely underestimated human creativity and their ability to improvise. They're using tactics we've never encountered before." Indeed, humans were proving to be masters of unconventional warfare. In the Amazon rainforest, indigenous tribes were using their intimate knowledge of the jungle to run circles around the alien patrols. In the streets of Paris, fashion designers had developed camouflage that could fool Zorgaxian sensors, allowing resistance fighters to move unseen. Even in space, humans were making surprising advances. A coalition of space agencies had quickly adapted their spacecraft for combat. These ships, piloted by daring astronauts and test pilots, were now engaging in hit-and-run attacks on the Zorgaxian fleet. Back on the space station, Blorp and Unit 7 watched the unfolding events with a mixture of awe and excitement. Probability of human victory now at 48.2% and rising. Unit 7 beeped. Rate of human technological advancement, exponential. Blorp's gelatinous form quivered with excitement. "I've never seen anything like it. They're not just fighting back, they're evolving their entire civilization in real time." On Earth, the tide of battle had decisively turned. In North America, a combination of military forces and civilian militias had reclaimed several major cities. In China, a massive citizen army had surrounded and isolated large groups of Zorgaxian troops. But perhaps the most significant development came from an unexpected source. In a small lab in Kenya, a team of scientists made a groundbreaking discovery. They found a way to disrupt the Zorgaxian energy shields using a frequency emitted by a rare earth mineral. As news of this discovery spread, mining operations sprang up overnight. Within hours, the first anti-shield weapons were being produced and distributed to resistance fighters worldwide. Xylop received this news with growing horror. "Impossible," he shouted, his blue skin now pale with fear. "How could they have discovered this so quickly?" Zorp, the chief scientist, spoke up hesitantly. "Sir, it appears that the pressure of invasion has united the humans like never before. They're sharing knowledge and resources at an unprecedented rate. Their collective intelligence is formidable." Indeed, all across the globe, humans were working together in ways they never had before. Scientists shared findings freely, engineers collaborated across borders, and even rival nations pooled their military resources. As the third day of fighting neared its end, the Zorgaxians found themselves on the defensive for the first time. Their invasion force, once seemingly invincible, was now fighting for survival on multiple fronts. In his command ship, Hilop faced a decision he never thought he'd have to make. Prepare for a tactical retreat, he ordered, his voice heavy with disbelief. "We need to regroup and reassess." As the Zorgaxian ships began to pull back from Earth's atmosphere, cheers erupted in cities, towns, and villages across the planet. Humans had not only survived the initial invasion, but they had also driven back a technologically superior force through sheer ingenuity, adaptability, and determination. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. The species everyone thought was bad at war had just proven themselves to be one of the most formidable fighting forces in the universe. And as the sun set on the third day of the invasion, it was clear that the real battle was just beginning. As the fourth day of the invasion began, Earth was buzzing with activity. The Zorgaxian retreat had given humans a moment to catch their breath, but they knew the fight was far from over. In a hidden bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains, world leaders gathered for an emergency summit. General Maria Rodriguez, a seasoned military strategist, addressed the assembly. "We've won the first battle, but the war is not over," she said, her voice firm. "We must use this time to prepare for their return." Meanwhile, in orbit, astronaut John Chen led a daring mission. Using captured Zorgaxian technology, his team was converting the International Space Station into a defensive platform. "If they come back, we'll be ready for them up here," John reported to Mission Control, his voice crackling over the radio. On the ground, cities were being transformed. In Tokyo, engineers were installing massive energy shields based on reversed-engineered alien tech. In Rio de Janeiro, scientists were developing new weapons using the rare mineral that disrupted Zorgaxian shields. But the most exciting development came from an unexpected place. In a small village in India, a young girl named Priya had made a startling discovery. While playing with her father's old radio, she stumbled upon a way to communicate with other alien races in the galaxy. News of Priya's discovery spread like wildfire. Soon, Earth was abuzz with transmissions from curious alien civilizations. Many had been watching the conflict with interest, and now they wanted to know more about these surprisingly resilient humans. On the space station, Blorp and Unit 7 were monitoring these developments with growing excitement. Interspecies communication initiated. Unit 7 beeped. Diplomatic possibilities. Expanding rapidly. Blorp jiggled in agreement. The humans are full of surprises. They're not just good at fighting. They're good at making friends too. Back in space, the retreating Zorgaxian fleet was in chaos. Psylop faced a mutiny as his officers demanded answers. How could we have been so wrong? His second-in-command, Zorlak, asked. These humans were supposed to be easy prey. Xylop had no answer. He stared out at the stars, wondering how his sure victory had turned into such a disaster. On Earth, humans were not resting on their laurels. In labs and workshops around the world, people were working tirelessly to advance their technology. In a garage in Silicon Valley, a team of programmers developed an AI that could predict Zorgaxian tactics. In a university in Moscow, physicists were close to cracking the secret of the aliens' faster-than-light travel. But perhaps the most significant development was happening in the realm of diplomacy. Thanks to Priya's discovery, Earth was quickly becoming a hub of galactic communication. Aliens from all corners of the galaxy were reaching out, curious about the species that had repelled the notorious Zorgaxian invasion. Some offered technology, others proposed alliances, and a few even asked for Earth's protection against other threats. In the United Nations building in New York, now reinforced with alien-derived technology, diplomats were working around the clock. They were no longer just representing nations, but the entire human race. As the fourth day neared its end, Earth was a planet transformed. Cities glittered with a mix of human and alien technology. The skies were filled with new satellites and defense platforms. And in homes and public spaces around the world, people gathered around screens to watch the latest updates from their new alien contacts. In his command ship, now hiding behind one of Saturn's moons, Psylop received the latest reports with growing dread. The humans were not just defending themselves. They were reaching out to the galaxy and changing the balance of power. "We have to strike now," Zorlak urged, "before they grow too strong." But Psylop hesitated. The humans had already proven to be far more formidable than anyone had imagined. And now, with potential allies across the galaxy, they were becoming a force to be reckoned with. As the sun set on the fourth day of what was supposed to be an easy conquest, the galaxy watched and waited. The humans, once dismissed as an easy target, had become the most talked-about species in the universe, and their story was far from over. As the fifth day dawned, Earth had become a hub of interstellar activity. The planet, once considered a backwater by galactic standards, was now the center of attention. In orbit, a diverse fleet of alien ships had gathered. Some came out of curiosity, others to offer aid, and a few to seek alliances with this surprisingly resilient species. On the ground, cities had transformed overnight. Streets buzzed with a mix of humans and friendly aliens, all working together to fortify Earth's defenses. In Central Park, New York, a massive holographic display showed real-time updates of Earth's new planetary shield system. Dr. Emily Wong, the lead scientist behind the project, explained to a crowd of humans and aliens alike, "By combining our technology with contributions from our new allies, we've created a defense system unlike anything in the galaxy," she said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Meanwhile, in a secret facility in the Sahara Desert, a joint human-alien task force was preparing for a bold move. They had located the Zorgaxian fleet hiding behind Saturn's moons. General Ahmed Hassan addressed the assembled team, a mix of Earth's best soldiers and elite warriors from allied alien races. "Today, we take the fight to them," he declared, his voice firm. "We will show the Zorgaxians and the entire galaxy the humans are not to be underestimated." As the task force prepared to depart, news came in from an unexpected source. The young Indian girl, Priya, who had discovered the alien communication frequency, had made contact with a faction within the Zorgaxian fleet. "Not all of them want to fight," Priya explained to world leaders via a holographic conference. "Some of them are scared and want to negotiate." This information sent ripples through Earth's leadership. The possibility of a diplomatic solution had seemed impossible just days ago. In space, the Zorgaxian fleet was in turmoil. Stylop faced a full-blown mutiny as more and more of his officers questioned the wisdom of continuing the war. "The humans have allies now," one officer argued, "and their technology is advancing faster than we can counter. We should sue for peace while we still can." Stylop, once so confident in his superiority, now found himself paralyzed with indecision. Back on Earth, preparations continued for all possible outcomes. In laboratories around the world, scientists worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets of advanced alien technology. In a basement in Seoul, a team of gamers-turned-strategists used virtual reality simulations to predict and counter possible Zorgaxian tactics. "They think in straight lines," explained Kim Min-jun, the team leader. "But we've learned to think around corners. That's our advantage." As the day progressed, tensions rose. The joint task force departed Earth, cloaked with technology that made them invisible to Zorgaxian sensors. Their mission: to strike at the heart of the alien fleet and force a surrender. But even as the military option moved forward, diplomatic channels remained open. In a specially constructed chamber in Geneva, human diplomats sat across from holographic representations of the Zorgaxian peace faction. "We don't want war," the Zorgaxian representative said, his holographic form shimmering. "We were wrong about humans. We see that now." As news of these negotiations spread, people around the world held their breath. After days of intense fighting and rapid advancement, could peace really be possible? In orbit, Blorp and Unit 7 watched the unfolding events with amazement. Probability calculations exceeding parameters, Unit 7 beeped excitedly. Humans demonstrating unprecedented strategic flexibility. Blorp's gelatinous form rippled in agreement. "They're fighting and talking at the same time. I've never seen anything like it." As the fifth day neared its end, Earth stood at a crossroads. The Joint Task Force was hours away from engaging the Zorgaxian fleet. Yet, at the same time, peace talks were progressing in Geneva. In homes, shelters, and newly built bunkers around the world, humans gathered around screens, waiting for news. Would the day end in a decisive battle or a historic peace agreement? Stylop, watching from his command ship, finally made a decision. He opened a channel to Earth, ready to speak directly with human leaders. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what would happen next in this unexpected turn of events. As the sixth day began, the world watched with bated breath as Stylop's transmission reached Earth. In a specially prepared conference room at the United Nations, world leaders gathered to hear the Zorgaxian commander's message. Xylot's holographic form flickered into existence, his once proud posture now noticeably subdued. "People of Earth," he began, his voice echoing through the chamber. I have made a grave error." The assembled leaders exchanged glances of surprise and cautious hope as Xylot continued. "We underestimated you. We thought you were primitive, easy to conquer. But you have shown us the true meaning of strength, adaptability, and unity. I come before you now to sue for peace." In orbit, the Joint Human-Alien Task Force received orders to stand down but remain vigilant. Commander Sarah Chen, leading the mission, couldn't hide her amazement. "To think we were ready for the fight of our lives. And now this," she mused, gazing at the Zorgaxian fleet through her ship's view screen. Back on Earth, reactions varied. In Times Square, crowds cheered at the news displayed on massive screens. In Moscow's Red Square, people hugged each other, tears of relief streaming down their faces. In a small village in Kenya, elders nodded sagely, unsurprised by humanity's triumph. But not everyone was ready to celebrate. In war rooms and command centers, military leaders urged caution. "It could be a trick," General Rodriguez warned during an emergency meeting. "We need to verify their intentions." As diplomats worked to establish the framework for peace talks, scientists and engineers continued their rapid advancements. In a lab beneath the Alps, Dr. Hans Müller made a breakthrough in understanding Zorgaxian faster-than-light technology. With this, he exclaimed to his team, eyes wide with excitement, "We could explore the galaxy." Meanwhile, Earth's new alien allies watched the unfolding events with a mix of admiration and concern. Many were impressed by humanity's ability to force a superior foe to the negotiating table. Others worried about the rapid pace of human advancement. On the International Space Station, now a hub of interspecies cooperation, alien ambassador Zixtal shared his thoughts with the crew. "Your species is unlike any we've encountered," the crystalline being chimed. "You've accomplished in days what takes others centuries. It's both inspiring and a little frightening." As peace talks began in earnest, humanity faced new challenges. How would they integrate into the larger galactic community? What would they do with their newly acquired knowledge and technology? In universities and think tanks around the world, scholars debated these questions. At Oxford, Professor Emily Thorne led a symposium on humanity's role in the cosmic order. "We stand at a crossroads," she addressed the packed auditorium. "We have the power to be a force for good in the galaxy, but we must be cautious not to repeat the mistakes of our past on a cosmic scale." As the day progressed, more details of the peace agreement emerged. The Zorgaxians would withdraw completely from Earth's solar system. In return, humanity agreed not to seek revenge against the Zorgaxian Empire. But perhaps the most surprising term came from Earth, an offer to help the Zorgaxians reform their society and join the growing alliance of peaceful species. This move shocked many, including Tylop himself. "After all we did, you would help us?" he asked, his holographic form displaying clear confusion. The human negotiator, a wise diplomat named Amir Hassan, smiled gently. "That's what makes us human," he replied. "We have the capacity for great violence, yes, but also for great compassion." As the sixth day drew to a close, Earth was a planet transformed. The threat of invasion had been replaced by the promise of a new era. Humans looked to the stars not with fear, but with hope and curiosity. In homes around the world, families discussed the future. Children dreamed of visiting alien worlds. Adults contemplated a universe full of new possibilities. And in the great tapestry of the cosmos, a new thread began to shine brightly. Humanity, no longer isolated, but taking its place among the stars. As the seventh day dawned, Earth stood on the brink of a new era. The Zorgaxian invasion, once a threat to humanity's existence, had become the catalyst for unprecedented growth and change. In Geneva, the final details of the peace treaty were being hammered out. Human diplomats sat alongside representatives from a dozen alien races, including reformed Zorgaxians. The atmosphere was one of cautious optimism. Ambassador Lai Wei, Earth's chief negotiator, addressed the assembly. Today, we're not just ending a war. We're beginning a new chapter in galactic history. Meanwhile, in laboratories and research centers across the planet, the pace of innovation showed no signs of slowing. In Bangalore, a team led by Dr. Aisha Patel unveiled a revolutionary clean energy system based on Zorgaxian technology. This could end our dependence on fossil fuels within a year, Dr. Patel explained to reporters, her eyes shining with excitement. In orbit, the International Space Station had been transformed into a hub of interstellar cooperation. Astronauts worked alongside alien scientists, preparing for humanity's first official mission beyond the solar system. Commander John Chen, overseeing the preparations, couldn't hide his amazement. A week ago, we were fighting for survival. Now we're planning to explore the stars. It's incredible. On the ground, cities were rapidly adapting to Earth's new reality. In Tokyo, holographic signs offered real-time translations of alien languages. In Rio de Janeiro, the first interspecies cultural center opened its doors, showcasing art and music from across the galaxy. But amidst the excitement, voices of caution emerged. In a viral video, philosopher Dr. Maya Saunders warned of the challenges ahead. We must not lose sight of our humanity as we embrace our place in the cosmos, she urged. Our greatest strength has always been our diversity and our capacity for empathy. We must carry these values with us to the stars. Her words resonated with many, sparking discussions in homes, schools, and governments worldwide about humanity's path forward. In response, the United Nations convened a special session to draft the Galactic Accords, a document outlining humanity's principles and commitments as they joined the interstellar community. As the day progressed, attention turned to the Zorgaxians. True to their word, their fleet was preparing to leave Earth's solar system. But this departure was different from their arrival. Instead of warships, many vessels now carried cultural exchanges and diplomatic missions. Xylop, once the feared invasion commander, now led a delegation of Zorgaxian scientists and artists. In a gesture of goodwill, they offered to share their vast knowledge of the galaxy with humanity. We came as conquerors, Xylop admitted in a global broadcast. We leave as friends, humbled by your spirit and inspired by your potential. As news of this final reconciliation spread, celebrations erupted around the world. In New York's Central Park, humans and aliens alike gathered for a massive concert celebrating peace. The star-studded lineup included musicians from Earth and beyond, their melodies weaving together in a cosmic harmony. But even as humanity celebrated, they prepared for the challenges ahead. In a hidden facility beneath the Gobi Desert, a new global defense force trained, ready to protect Earth from any future threats. General Maria Rodriguez, overseeing the training, spoke to her diverse team of human and alien recruits. We hope for peace, but we must be prepared for anything. The galaxy can be a dangerous place. As the seventh day neared its end, families around the world gathered to watch a historic event. The first joint human-alien space mission was about to launch, carrying representatives from Earth to the galactic capital. As the countdown began, billions held their breath. The sleek spacecraft, a fusion of human ingenuity and alien technology, stood poised on the launch pad. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. The ship rose on a column of blue flame, carrying humanity's hopes and dreams to the stars. As it vanished into the night sky, cheers erupted around the globe. In living rooms, public squares, and alien observation posts across the galaxy, the same thought echoed. The species everyone had underestimated was now taking its place among the stars. As the sun set on the seventh day, Earth was no longer just a pale blue dot in the cosmic ocean. It was a beacon of resilience, innovation, and hope. The invasion that was meant to end humanity had instead launched them into a new age of exploration and cooperation. The galaxy watched, wondered, and waited to see what these remarkable humans would do next.